welcome back to another Pokemon Master Datamine video. We're going to be talking about the Datamine that released at the late January of 2024, detailing contents of February of 2024. Indeed, so you don't want to be spoiled. I totally forgot to Google image spoilers. Can I do it now? I could, but then it would show up my history, then that would be bad. So, anyways, you don't want to be spoiled by content for Pokemon Masters 2024 February. You've been warned. Click away from the video, but if you're ready, or if you want to hear more, then you hear me talk more. So spoiler over. I guess I should have said that before I scroll down here, but I mean, you see this in the in-game notice anyway, and on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's no surprise that we're gonna get chased from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Is that what the game is called? Indeed. I am also just to beforehand, I'm not exactly like super gonna talk in depth about this Datamine in particular, simply because these characters are pretty simple. There's a few things I don't know, as well as I'm not really interested in these characters as much. Yeah, just to let you guys know, these characters, I don't think I'm gonna be rolling for any of these characters. I'm not super excited about these characters, but I know some people are, since a lot of certain characters are getting ults, like alternate outfits, which is really good. And honestly, this is a very male-dominated month next month for February. I think out of all these new characters, I'm gonna be talking about 8 new characters, only 1 female character. So, and I don't think a lot of people are even gonna roll for this female character. So it's it's a pretty interesting one. But anyways, we're getting chased, like I mentioned, for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, I believe. He is going to be support in sprint, or main role support, and EX role sprint. I mean, it's fantastic EX role. In my opinion, the best EX role for a support character. So we have a support character, which is really interesting because Kanto, in my opinion, is missing a good support character. I mean, yes, you do have Blue. Yes, you do have Neo Champion Blue. But those characters are not, they don't exactly buff, right? If you're using, in my opinion, you're using Ash or you're using Neo Champion Red, those characters don't need the support from Blue or Neo Champion Blue. So you might as well have another support that can increase their damage, or significantly increase their damage. And it's Chase the guy. It's Chase the guy. Let me tell you, Chase is the guy. His passive skills, Electrifying Chase, always leave opponent paralyzed. That's good if they are able to be paralyzed. And restore HP of all allying pairs when Pikachu gets hit here. So we're getting our Pikachu. Another rat. Is the rat going to be good? Healing is always nice. Also, whenever they use a trainer move, raising speed and evasiveness of all your ally sync pairs. Now, how many trainer moves do you have? Well, you have 2 in Kanto Analysis, 2 in X Attack All. Presumably, it doesn't say here, but I'm guessing there's 2. And then 2 in Let's Go Everyone. And so if you use 6 trainer moves in the span of 6 turns, you can fully raise your speed and evasiveness. So this can trigger, or you can fully max out your speed and evasiveness, which is super strong. And this is for all your ally sync pairs. And then also full Bracing Command 9, you raise defense and special defense by 1 when you use a trainer move. Again, we have 6 trainer moves here. So in the span of 6 turns, you can raise everyone's speed and evasiveness to max, and you can raise Pikachu's defense and special defense to max, which is pretty good. Again, the span of 6 turns. So it does take a few turns, but again, you don't need to do it all like that. But that's a strategy you can have going into this. Stat-wise, we have beautiful stats here. Anything over 350 defense and special defense at full potential 5-star is really strong in my opinion. So we have over 350 in both defense and special defense. We have really good HP. Again, anything over 800 is pretty strong. And in speed, 400, attack and special attack doesn't really matter. We're a support unit here. Speed is pretty strong too. Anyways, we have Thunder Shock. It's a 1 move gauge move, super good. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a small chance of leaving paralysis. If it can be paralyzed, it will be paralyzed because of Electrifying Chase. We have Kanto Analysis. Now, Kanto Analysis is very similar to what we had with Neo Champion Nate, as well as Wallace. I think it's New Year's Wallace, right? So first off, you increase special move up next to all your sync pairs. That's pretty good, a little bit of extra damage. And also you applying that Kanto Circle, which basically raises your special attack, not physical, but special. Also synced special attack increases, you reduce the amount of special attack you take from the opponent, as well as the sync move of special attack. And then the more Kanto characters you have on your party, the better. Now, Kanto analysis here is super good. This is the character, in my opinion, that we've really been missing out on for our Kanto support characters. If this character is perfect to use with Ash in Neo Champion Blue, or I'm sorry, Neo Champion Red, because we have a lot of support elements to it. Because those characters can fully buff themselves with one move, and so you don't need the Neo Champion Blue. You don't need Blue, and with this character, you can raise your special attack. It doesn't exactly work with Anniversary Red because Anniversary Red is a physical attacker. So this character, I'm mostly looking at Ash and Neo Champion Red, and I think Chase here works incredibly well with those two characters. But if you don't want to use him, if you just want to use him as a general support character, you have X Attack All and Let's Go Everybody. X Attack All, of course, increases special attack of all your ally sync pairs by 4 if you use it 2 times. I'm guessing you use it 2 times. And Let's Go Everyone, move gauge acceleration, which is nice. Again, you are raising speed whenever you use a trainer move, and so you're really gonna get that move gauge up and running. Reduce sync move countdown by 1. Super good if you missed your sync move cheese. Again, sync move cheese is something where you sync move, and then that unit immediately can attack before the opponent can use a move. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes you aren't able to use that move, and so you're one move behind the sync move. You know, that's what I call sync move cheese. And so being able to remove your sync, lower the sync move countdown by 1 is always good to give you that extra. Make sure that your second sync move is on time, like a turn earlier than if you missed the sync move cheese. And of course, raising crit of all your action by 2. That's super good. Sync move, nothing special, but keep in mind that if you have sprint, you know, this is really good. So following suit in Neo Champion Rosa and Anniversary Cynthia, both of them are able to, or all these units are able to sync, which gives the sync move buff times 2, and then you can use this next sync move quickly afterwards, which is super strong. And again, if you miss the sync move cheese, Let's Go Everybody, boom, lower by 1. So I think it's a super strong unit. It's the first support unit we have. Sorry, it's the first support unit we have that has a circle effect. This circle effect, I'm pretty sure, applies to any. It doesn't matter what region the character's from. You always get a little bit of a buff, and so this Kanto analysis is super strong. And again, it's the first support unit that has it. So I think that Chase is a very, very strong unit. Let's look at the sync grids that I have for him. He's going to come out with a 5 out of 5 sync grid if you want to go ahead and do that. The sync grid I have on him, give him endurance. Again, more defensive options. And of course, you want, in my opinion, you really want this Kanto C Extension 3. So it increases your Kanto circle uptime, so that you use it less. And this is really strong in my opinion, so you don't need to worry about it running out during an important matter. I am getting a call. Hold up. All right, I am back. Can you believe that I woke up and it's before 12 o'clock. I've already been called 3 times from 3 different persons to do 3 different things. Yep, it's a lot. But anyways, I think as I was mentioning something about Kanto Circle Extension 3, you definitely want this in my opinion. Again, as a support unit, you definitely want the extra. You want the extra uptime. Also on the sync grid, what's cool is you have some other stuff. When your opponent missed charge 1 move gauge, and then restore HP 40%, not really good chances, because like the chance of your opponent hitting you is pretty high, and the chance of this hitting is pretty low, and so not really good in my opinion. Regen, team sync regen is pretty okay too. You can also come out having raised special attack, so a little bit more buffing, stuff like that. It's pretty okay. But also this character has a 4 and 5. I guess grid extension, and then of course there is Kanto analysis crit defense 9. So this is really good because you can apply the crit hit defense when you use your Kanto analysis, and keep in mind you can use Kanto analysis twice, so you can get this up twice which is pretty good if you need it. If you need that crit hit defense for your support or for your damage units. Mind Game 9 lower special defense, that could be good because again you are a special attack, or you're buffing special attacks, and so if you can lower stats, that's pretty good too. And yeah, staggering 4 is really good if you want to do a flinching support. I kind of think this is not as good as one might immediately suspect, because keep in mind that a lot of your buffs you're gonna get from your passives, a lot of these buffs you get when you use trainer moves. So when you use a attack move, you're not gonna get the the speed, the evasiveness, all that stuff. And so not a big fan of staggering. Also, staggering is a 4, so not terrible. 4 out of 5. But it's there, it's nice. And also Team Fist Bump is pretty good too. You can restore HP. So a lot of restore HP with this unit if you decide to. So it's pretty strong in that sense. A little bit of healing, a little bit of attack buff, a little bit of crit buff. Can't fully raise a special attack if you just use that node on the sync grid. So yeah, again, I'm recording this. I had this video all planned, and then I was interrupted for like a few hours. So like now I'm kind of discombobulated. But again, Chase is a really good unit here, in my opinion. Does a lot, and most importantly, cancel analysis, which is super strong. The next unit we have is PT. PT, I think, is going to be a free unit. It's tech 3-star free unit. Not much to say about this character, because usually free units 3 stars, well, I shouldn't say free unit 3 stars are not always good, but this unit in particular I don't think is that good. Passive can't be paralyzed, increases chance of paralysis hitting with hostile environment, and quick here, which is not bad if you're get flinched or trapped. Stats, I mean, pretty poor stats. Again, this is kind of what you expect with a character that starts at a 3-star and is free. Interestingly enough, this character only uses AoE moves, so Electro Web lowers speed of all the enemies, and discharge, moderate chance of paralysis, which again boosts because of hostile environment. X speed and Pika Pika, raising speed, special attack, crit. Can't fully raise any of those stats solo, so not that good. That being said though, we have the sync move. More the speed is raised to greater the power, so you can get a little bit of power there if your speed is fully raised. For sync grid, again, not really excited about this character sync grid because not really strong in the first place. But I chose Pika Pika MP Refresh 2 so that we can fully raise our special attack and crit. Status Shock, so powers up sync move when paralysis. Again, you have the discharge, which is pretty good chance of paralysis in the first place, and then you get the hostile environment, and so you can paralyze your enemies pretty well. Also, I think this is a pretty interesting one. Paralysis up, fail, up 2. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a character have this. Maybe there's a character that has this, like, yeah, I don't know, but it's just something that I haven't seen before. But anyways, you still want the paralysis energy 3 in my opinion. Powers up your normal move when the enemy is paralyzed. So it's pretty interesting. Likelihood that they will fail. You can also use Sharp Entry 1 to fully raise crit, but I'd rather just do the MP refresh. You can also have First Aid 2, the normal stuff that you have for pretty bad units. Clear-headedness is kind of random. Hem in 9, chance of lowering evasiveness when your attack is successful. I mean, that's interesting, but I don't think that that's good. But there you go. Again, it's a 3-star unit. It's a free unit, presumably, so not the best. It's not the greatest of rats. But it's a girl rat. It's a girl rat because the Pikachu is a female, so that's interesting. Interesting. And now we have a highly anticipated Riley. Riley's going to be a 5-star. And again, spoiler, I think he is going to be free. Which is good and a bad thing. Which is good and bad. Good is that everyone has access to him pretty easily. But as someone who... My favorite character is Zinnia, and she came out as free. It's good that everyone gets her. But the bad thing is she's free, which means she doesn't end up being good. And so Riley here, is he going to be good? Well, actually, I think it's quite alright. He's a sprint and strike, or main is sprint, and then his other role is EX strike, which isn't bad, honestly. Again, there's always the dilemma of, are you going to use sprint or are you going to use support? And, characters that have both of them, it's really good, but this character only has one of them, and so, like, do you want to use this over your support? Who knows? He's using Lucario, of course. A max countdown 3 reduced sync move countdown by 3 after using a max move. That's really good because when you use a max move, it uses up a turn, but it doesn't lower the sync move countdown. And so it actually delays your, unless you have something like Chase, which you can lower the sync move countdown by 1. If you use a max move and you can't lower the sync move countdown, then it delays your sync move to turn 4 instead of turn 3. So, or after turn 3, I should say. So that's pretty good. If you use a max move, your sync move is going to be even faster. Actually, you can use it after 2 turns of all your Pokemon attacking. Dashing Team 9 raise speed after a user move is successful. That's super good. Again, you definitely want more speed so that this unit can attack as a sprint. Is a sprint sync pair, so it's probably not going to be your main damage dealer, but you still want that speed so you can use multiple units. And then unflappable can't be flinched, whatever, right? Excellent stats for a 5-star free character. I mean, over 400 attack, 450 attack, 450 special attack, over 400 speed, almost 800 HP. Again, I'm looking at non-EX roll because it's still pretty hard to get EX roll. And do you really want to spend your strike EX roll on a free character like Riley? Maybe if he's your favorite character, But great stats, but that's what you expect out of a sprint sync pair. So let's see what max move he has. He has max knuckle and max steel spike. So, 2 different typing here. And you can raise your attack by 2 stats, or you can raise defense of all your attacks by 2 stats. Now this max knuckle is pretty important because this trainer move, testing our skills, it increases or applies the move gate acceleration, and also raises the user, so Lucario's attack by 4, and then raises his defense by 2, and special defense by 2, right? So it's a sprint sync pair that can buff himself. I think a lot actually sprint sync pairs buff themselves. But with max knuckle, you can fully raise your attack. And of course, you have dire hit to fully raise your crit in a span of 3 or 4 turns actually, because if you use all these moves, it takes 4 turns. And then close combat and Iron Tail. Iron Tail, pretty interesting because it doesn't have 100% accuracy and you're not mainly a steel type, so you probably won't use Iron Tail. But Ghost Combat is pretty good. Strong move, 100% accuracy, does lower your defense and special defense. However, keep in mind that you do have the testing your skill to raise your defense, special defense by 2. For the sync move, greater your speed is, the greater the power of this move. Again, it's going to be quite difficult to raise your speed because you're going to have to use a lot of moves to raise your speed to max, but there you go. I think the script for this character, by the way, is you use testing our skills and then you use the max move. So you fully raise your attack. And in those 2 turns, yeah. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, no, you can't use your sync move turn 2. You have to, after turn 2. You have to use your sync move after turn 3. Because if you use this character and then 2 other characters, then it lowers it by 5. And then you use 3 more moves, it lowers it by 6. So it still takes actually 3 full turns to be able to use a sync move, unless you have a sync move reduced by 1 Pokemon. So this character is actually going to take 3 turns. So if you're going to do the full 3 turns, then I think the script is testing our skills to raise your attack, max, and then maybe a dire hit to raise your crit, and then max knuckle to go ahead and raise your attack 2, and then you're going to sync. At that point, maybe you have 2 speed ups because, well, you're only going to have, well, I don't know if the speed up activates when you use, when you use a trainer move, so you're not gonna have any of that. So it's a weird, I'm not exactly sure what script you're gonna use with this character, but now that I thought I kind of knew what the script was, but now that I think about it, the script for this character is like, do you want to sync with this character first? If you sync with this character first, you're not gonna be fully utilizing all the buffs. If you have a support buffer, like you have a support unit to buff this unit, then that's good. But if you have a support unit, then you can sync with that unit. It's weird. It's weird. Regardless, Lucario has close combat, so we're going ahead and using a Stalwart and Unbending so that this character or that this Pokemon doesn't lower defense or special defense when they use close combat. That's super nice to have in the kit. And then I also have Bronze Sync 5. I guess I'm planning on syncing with this unit, with this sync grid, because again, sync move is going to be powered up when attack is powered up. Also, you can raise your defense by 1 when a move is successful with the shielding strike. I guess that can kind of compensate for the close combat, but also I just have this because it's so I can get the sync move power. But also with this kit, you can sharp entry 1 to get crit, so you're going to only need to use dire hit once to get max crit. Amped up one, raise the user speed by 1 when it lands crit hit. Again, that could be pretty good if you want to fully raise your speed. What other things I think are cool with this kit? Ramming speed is also really good because your close combats do more damage the more speed you have. And pinpoint accuracy is good if you want that use Iron Tail, stuff like that. So I think it's an interesting unit. I think Riley is an interesting unit. Could be strong because he does raise the speed of all your ally sync pairs, so it's not bad. But is this character really gonna take the place? For me, in my fighting team, I'm using special costume Diantha. I'm using Cynthia with Lucario, and then I'm also using another character. It's actually it's actually a very similar character to Riley. I'm using the girl with the Blissey, also another one of those characters that follows you around in Gen 4. Would I use Riley over her? I'm not sure, because I feel like if I'm using Riley, I'm gonna have sync gauge, move gauge issues. But we'll see. I'll definitely test him in that team, and he might be good because he will take advantage of the fighting zone that Cynthia uses. And I probably won't end up syncing with this character. This character would probably just be fully support in that team. But anyways, yes, Riley, interesting. I mean, he's a really cool character. Honestly, I might have considered rolling for him if he wasn't free. And so, a very interesting character. But next character, Gladion. Gladion finally getting an ult. Is interestingly enough, it's a Signa suit. So it's not a Master Fair. I mean, it is a Master Fair because you have a Master ability, but it's not a Neo Champion. So this is very similar in line with Lusamine. Lusamine is Gladion's mother, and so she is also a Signa suit. So it's interesting. It's not Neo Champion, but a Signa suit. Regardless, roll is Strike, and EX roll is Sprint. You know, that's not bad, but also not that good in my opinion. The Strike is nice. See, he has Alola Spirit, so it basically raises special moves and raises your special defense. Essentially, you take less damage from special moves. And the more Alolan characters you have on your team, the better. Very similar to Lusamine. Again, signature Lusamine, I think it has the exact same Master passive, where she focuses on the special attacking. And so that's pretty interesting. If you use both of them on the same team, you're going to have the really high special attack buffs right there. Another passive, Just Give It Up Already. That's an interesting name. Stat can't be lowered. That's fantastic. Basically, you have, what's it called? Impervious on your character. Built in. Really good. Lowers the opponent's special attack by 2 when you use Floor Cannon. I think it's pronounced Floor Cannon. Alright, interesting. When the user's stat is lowered by opponent, the stat is lowered to your opponent instead. So basically, if your opponent uses Growl on this Pokemon doesn't lower their attack, and instead the Pokemon who use Growl will lower their attack. And so this character is definitely interesting in that sense, right? But it's not lower stat and this increases. It's not the same as Victini or Rayquaza, right? It's you don't increase the stat, but you do lower your opponent's stat, which is interesting. I forgot what that passive is called, but this Pokemon doesn't have that passive. Condition notification, so cannot be inflicted by stat conditions and flinching, confuse, or trap. So it can't be inflicted with status condition and status changes. That's pretty good. Interestingly, this is a striker unit, and so having that passive is really interesting. So they can't be hit with any status conditions, status changes, and their stat can't be lowered, but they still can't get hit by critical hits, interestingly enough. So not impervious to everything. Soften up 1, critical hits land more often with sync moves. That's really good. Consistent crits with your sync move. Attack stat, pretty high special attack, 460 here. Really high speed too, and pretty decent defense. So pretty well statted unit for a strike sync pair. Floor Cannon, this lowers the user special attack by 2. Keep in mind that this also lowers it by 2 more because of the passive. So just using this move twice will completely lower their special attack, the target. This move also has 90 accuracy, which sucks. Again, I hate moves that aren't 100% accuracy, and so you definitely want to fix this somehow by raising your accuracy. Or lowering the opponent's evasiveness if you want to use Peter. Or PT, his name is. You want to go with that route. X speed plus, raise your speed by 3 stat. Interesting, you can fully raise speed in a course of 2 turns. Piercing Floor Cannon, when you use a move once, and when you use it, then deactivation is when it's used. So this only has 1 use, and I think you can use it after you use Floor Cannon. So the more the current target special attack is lower, the greater the power is. This move hits everybody, but I think when you target one character, it depends on that character. So if you're targeting the center Pokemon that has 6 special attack stat lowered, but the side Pokemon don't, you want to target the middle Pokemon so that you get this effect. If you target the other Pokemon which don't have the special attack lower, then I don't think that this move does more damage. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And this move, power of this move is not lowered even if it has multiple targets, so it always would do the 220 damage base if you're at 1-5 copies. And also, the more the currently targeted opponent special attack is lower, the more it increases the special move up next effect. And so this is pretty interesting because, again, you only need to use Floor Cannon twice, or you can use it once if you have a certain synchro tile, right? But if you use it twice and then you fully lower special attack, and then you use this move on that Pokemon which has lowered special attack, you can probably, for every 2 special attack lower, you get a special move up next effect, and so that your next Floor Cannon can do big damage. So that's pretty good. And then My Soul Shaking, raise special attack by 6, raises crit by 3. Very reminiscent of Lily, Anniversary Lily right there. Applies a free move up next effect, which is pretty good, so that your next Floor Cannon is cheap. And it also increases your special up next effect by 1. Again, making your next floor Cannon doing pretty good damage. Nothing much to say about the sync move. So this unit is pretty interesting. You have this tile here, Discourage 2, lowers the special attack of all your opponent's sync bar by 2 when you enter battle. And so the script, in my opinion, you can use the trainer move to fully raise your special attack and crit. You can use Floor Cannon once to lower the opponent's special attack by 4. And then you can go ahead and use your Buddy move, which will do a ton of damage. It'll increase your next hit by 3. And then you're going to sync move with a support sync pair. And then, keep on using Floor Cannon. Or what you can do is you can save it after your, you can save the Buddy move after your second, or after your sync move with a support unit, and then you can have that sync move buff. But what I'm trying to say is you can use the Floor Cannon Buddy move will do a lot of damage in just 1 turn. And this, of course, pretty good. Regardless, super duper effective too, so you do more super effective moves. You also have Speedster Sync 3, powers up your sync move if your speed is raised. So again, you can raise the speed on your own, or you can go ahead and raise the speed with other means, but you do more sync move damage. Overpower, now you do more damage the more the opponent's special attack is lower. And again, keep in mind, if you do have a Discourage 2, then you're going to start off doing a lot of damage with this Overpower passive. Other thing this character can do is increases special attack by 2, special attack up next effect by 2 if it knocks out a Pokemon. I think this is pretty bad, unless your opponent has 9 Pokemon. I think this is a pretty bad time in my opinion, because it's pretty inconsistent to get this effect. It's pretty difficult to get this effect. 100 chance of getting it after you use a trainer move once. Again, I don't think this is that good, but you will get it if you use, you would get this if you use speed up. So you use that twice and then use your trainer move. I guess you can get this. Get a lot of special attack up next effect. Also, I picked the Floor Cannon accuracy 10 because I think that's super important. You also have Brain Power. You can raise your sync move if you can raise your sync move damage if your special attack is lowered. That's pretty good too. And indeed, you can also restore 1 MP to your Buddy move first time sync move is used in each battle, which again, that's really strong. So if you want to use, you want to use your trainer move, and then you want to use Floor Cannon, and then you want to use the Floor Cannon Buddy move, and then you can go ahead and sync with, this character sync with this character, and then use Floor Cannon again, and then you can use the Buddy move again. Keep in mind that this character is also sprint, so you decide to unlock the sprint roll, then boom, you can you can sync with the sync pair, and your next sync move would come up pretty quickly. And so these are 2 great tiles if you want to go with these tiles too. Next character is a Victor. So yep, Palantine is that time of year again. Palantine Victor. Victor's getting Victor, in my opinion, is a hard to get character because he's Pokefair and there's only 1 copy of him, and so yeah, I think the first Victor was already hard to get. So here's your second Victor. He's a support role with Tech EX role. The Tech EX role, in my opinion, is completely useless. You never want to use that, so don't do it. Unless Victor's your favorite character and you love him, then maybe. He's going to be using Greedent, and I'll admit, I don't actually know how this character works. I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't know how this character works. So what I might talk about is not really gonna make a lot of sense because I don't know how this character works. Also, this character is a normal type support character. Interesting. A Nitto Libel is a first passer. Reduces MP by 1 for the user's move that have berry effects. I don't know what that means. Like, if you use it, you get this effect. If you use a berry move, you get this effect. Or when you summon this Pokemon, it reduces the MP by 1. I literally don't know how this works. I don't know how this works, guys. I'm gonna say it's when you use a berry move. I just actually don't know. Actually, it reads so weird. Reduce MP by 1. Okay, what does it say on this Syncgrid website? Does it say... Okay, skills. Oh, okay, reduce MP, it says the same thing. I don't know what that means, guys. I literally just don't understand. And grants a following effect. Yeah, this following effect doesn't happen when you use Citrus Berry. So I don't know what this means. I literally don't know. Reduce MP by 1, or I don't know what that means. So I'm just gonna ignore that. And then it grants the following effect when user's HP is left half or below after it's hit by attack move or sync move. Sync move as well. So it reduces the HP, restores approximately 40% of its maximum HP. So it's basically like first aid 4, I think. And then applies a dirting effect to the user, which is pretty good. And so this character kind of has built-in endurance. As long as you don't get one shot. I mean, it's pretty unlikely that you'll get one shot. So as long as you get hit, you heal yourself and then you get enduring. Half seconds raises attack and special attack and crit of all your attack by 1 when the remaining MP for the user's move that have berry effect is 1 or higher and an attack is successful. Okay, so what does this mean? Citrus Berry. Citrus Berry is a 3. You can use this 3 times and it restores 20 HP to an ally sync pair. So if you use Citrus Berry once, you'll have 2 move points left, and so half seconds will trigger and you raise everybody's attack, special attack, and crit. And then you use Citrus Berry again, so use it 2 times, and then you get the half seconds effect again, attack, special attack, and crit to all your allies pairs again, right? But if you use Citrus Berry one more time, then Citrus Berry will have 0 MP, and because it has 0 MP, I don't think half seconds trigger because it only triggers when your remaining MP with berry is 1 or higher. So I think half seconds can only trigger twice, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if you use Citrus Berry twice, you can raise your attacks, special attack, and crit of all your attack pairs by 2. Which isn't that great, because it doesn't fully raise crit. And you have to use Citrus Berry twice. There's a lot of Pokemon that can use one move and fully raise crit and special attack. Cough cough, Neo Champion Blue. So, yeah, not that great. And but built-in vigilance is always nice, you know? HP is pretty strong. Again, defense not over 350, but still pretty high. 341, 338. That's pretty high for your special defense. So pretty good support unit in terms of stats here. They have tackle. They have Citrus Berry, like I mentioned. The Citrus Berry, I don't know what a little nibble means. I don't understand. But again, Citrus Berry is interesting because it heals. It's not like potion. It's not like mini potion. It's like a crappier form of mini potion. But again, you do get the buff from half seconds. Hyper Belt is really interesting here when the remaining MP for the user's Citrus Berry is 2 or lower. And a deactivation is when your Citrus Berry is at 3. So you have to use Citrus Berry in order to activate Hyper Belt. You have to use Citrus Berry once and then Hyper Belt is active. Hyper Belt, you can only use it 2 times, and what it does is that it never misses. It lowers the target's attack, defense, special attack, and special defense by 2, and it leaves the target badly poisoned. So this is pretty interesting if you want to use this character. I feel like this is like a new poison character. If you want to use this character over, for example, what's her name? Leaf. Because in my poison team, I use Emma and I use Signal Suit Leaf. However, this character is a lot better than, in my opinion, a lot better than Signal Suit Leaf because never misses, 100% chance poison, also lowers a bunch of these stats, which, might not be relevant. But again, just never missing, leaving a poison. Also, this Pokemon is a support unit. So again, you have great stats. You have healing with the Citrus Berry. You can raise more stats with half seconds. You have built-in vigilance. So this character is pretty good if you just want poisoner. And then Cooking Prep raises defense, special defense of all ally pairs by 2. You're going to be seeing this a lot more. And applies gradual healing effect to all your ally pairs. So again, very similar to Signal Suit Leaf. She also applies gradual healing effect. Signal Suit Leaf also lowers the sync move countdown. So that might be more important than this. But I think this is a very good alternative for a consistent poisoner. And again, I don't know what a little nibble first effect does. That just confused me. Sync move, nothing interesting. For the sync grid, I have some stuff. Status immunity, so can't be hit by status conditions. Revenge booster 9, so charges move gauge every time you get hit. Dashing team, 60% of raising speed after using attack move. So, I mean, you might not be using your attack move anytime soon because you're probably going to be citrus berrying, hyper belch, cooking prep. But if you do decide to use moves like your tackle, it could raise the team of speed of all your ally sync pairs. I also have Cooking Prep move, raise your defense, special defense by 1. And so with this tile, you can, if you use Cooking Prep twice, it can fully raise your defense and special defense. Indeed. Other interesting things, hit team special attack up 9 or hit team attack up 9. So every time you use your tackle, you can either raise your attack or special attack. So in combination with the citrus berry and the passive, in the course of 6 turns, you can fully raise attack or special attack, not fully raise crit. So yeah, I mean, it's there if you want to do that. If you want to have this character as your buffer, but strange. You can also raise the evasiveness 2. The first time drops below half. Again, evasiveness changes don't really matter. Your opponent is probably still gonna hit you because it's just how this game works. You're going to have your Citrus Berry heal more, Discombobulate, lower accuracy. Yeah, the rest of the tiles aren't really that good, in my opinion. So, yeah, Greedence tiles aren't really that good. To be 100% honest, yeah, I don't think a sync grid is that good. Or I should say, it's perfectly fine using that character at 1 copy, in my opinion. The next character is going to be Candace. Candace, with her 3rd character in the game, and another ice Pokemon, of course. So her role is Strike, and her EX role is Tech. Which, Tech could still be good here. Extra damage. And Candace and Darmanitan, she's using a Galarian Darmanitan, which is pretty interesting. Ice type. What is your order? Changes the user to Zen mode when HP drops below 50%. Or changes when HP is raised above 50%. And whenever you change forms to the normal form or the Zen form, you increase your physical move up next effect by 2. And that's it. Zen mode doesn't really change anything. Well, I look at Zen mode and I don't know. It looks like the exact same passives. It looks like the exact same stats as well. So I don't exactly know what the difference is with Zen mode. It's exact same moves as well. Exact same Zinc moves. And so I don't know if Zen mode actually does anything because it just looks like it's the same. Yeah, Zen mode is like the exact same. And so the only thing that changes when you change from Zen mode to normal or from normal mode to Zen mode is that you do more, your next physical move is going to do more damage. Hit the gas 5, so your attacks do more damage but cost more move gauge, and soften up 1. Again, same thing with Gladion. Your crit or your sync moves will always crit if you have 3+ in crit stat. Indeed. We have excellent attack stat here, 486, almost 500. That's incredible attack. Really high HP, which is nice because this character does rely a lot on their HP. And so having a lot of HP is nice to be able to take a hit and not die, right? Icicle Crash. I think Icicle Crash usually costs 2, I want to say, but it costs 3. Well, I shouldn't say I think it normally costs 2. I'm not exactly sure if this takes into account how much move gauge. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, interesting. So this Icicle Crash is going to cost 4. Accuracy 90. Again, not 100% accuracy, but it has a moderate % chance of flinching, which is nice. So this is going to be your main move. You can Potion, which is good if you want to potion your Darmanitan. So it goes to Zen mode and then you potion it and it goes out of Zen mode. And because of that, you might get 4 physical move up next effect buff. And then this Pokemon also has a buddy move, Fighting Spirit Icicle Crash. It only has 2 max move, or you can only use it twice. But this move you can use after you use like an Icicle Crash, right? And so this does more damage. It's interesting because it does more damage based on the number of icicle crashes you have used. And if you use icicle crash 4 times, then this move maxes out its power at 200%. And then this move returns to normal. And also 100% makes the target flinch. So what you can do is you can use, let's wrap it up. It's a training move that raises your attack by 4 and your crit by 3 and also applies gradual healing. You can wrap it up, and then you can use Icicle Crash twice, and then you use a sync move, and then you use Icicle Crash 2 more times, and then you can go ahead and use this Fighting Spirit Icicle Crash, which will do a ton of damage because you have used Icicle Crash 4 times before. And of course, maybe you can lower this opponent's, or you can lower your Darmanitan's HP somehow, and then potion it up. And so if you time it right, you can use this move while you have the up next effect for physical moves times 4. If you have that up 4 times, then your Icicle Crash is going to do big damage. Keep in mind, this character is interesting because they can't fully raise their attack. So you're going to maybe want Fierce Entry on your sync grid. Raise your attack by 2 stats. Also, I selected Furious Brawn and Haymaker. Basically, the more your attack is raised, the more your moves or your sync moves will do. Also, Double Down 3 would increase your sync move if it's super effective. So just a lot of extra damage here. You also have Vigilance, built-in Vigilance if you want, so that your Darmanitan can be able to tank a few more hits, so that you can switch forms and get that physical up next effect for moves. Pretty good. Defense Crash, your lower defense is pretty interesting. You have your Hail, basically your Hail support here if you want to use this character with Hail. You can also have a 40% of increasing your physical move up next effect if you use a move, attack move. That could be interesting too. And then combo freebie 3. 40% chance of applying the free move effect if your move is successful. That's honestly not bad because again, your Icicle Crashes will be doing a lot of damage. And if you decide to pair this unit with a Hail unit, for example, Irida, yeah, you might have sync move problems in that case. So having combo freebie 3 might come in clutch right there. Also, Icicle Crash accuracy plus 10. I didn't select this tile, but this would be a great tile to select too. Also, you have a little bit of potion MP refresh. And also, you can have Icicle Crash aggravation 1. So your Icicle Crash has more chances of flinching. So yeah, a lot of stuff in Candace's sync grid here. Next unit is going to be Faulkner. I think this is one of those like sync pairs that you can scout, but it's not all. Yeah, this is Faulkner's 3rd character, but he hasn't gone to ult yet, so kind of sad. But yeah, it is one of those banners that like usually not a lot of people roll for. At least I've never rolled for any of these banners, where it's just an ult of a character, but like it's not anything. It's not like a special outfit or anything. But it's Faulkner. It's another support Faulkner. Tech EX roll again means it's useless, or the EX roll is useless in my opinion. So he has 2 passives: use status P move team attack or special attack 9. So what this does is it lowers special attack and attack after this Pokemon uses a status move by 1 stat of all sync pairs. So after you use a status move, boom, lowers everyone's special attack and lowers everyone's attack. And this Pokemon can also just prevent everyone from falling asleep, which is pretty interesting. So no one sleeps if this Pokemon, or none of your Pokemon can sleep if this Pokemon is up. Pretty decent defense stats. Again, over 350 in special defense. Pretty decent defense, or pretty strong defense and pretty good HP. So, pretty good support unit in terms of stats. Air Cutter, alright, it costs 2, so it's expensive, but it's pretty good because Air Cutter hits all opponents, which will be useful. I'll mention that a little bit later, why Air Cutter is useful. Potion, again, you have healing. This is a support character, so healing is nice. Dreamlike Hypnosis. So activates when your allies attack 5 or more times. So very similar to Neo Champion Serena and Neo Champion Calum, where their buddy moves activate when you use a bunch of moves. And so Air Cutter hitting everybody will reduce this count by 5 or by 3. And so you just need to use 2 more. You just need to hit 2 more enemies. Again, maybe an AoE move, maybe normal moves. And so, Dreamlike Hypnosis it is not bad to activate this. And it seems like you can use it infinite amount of times, which is pretty strong. There's no limit to how many times you can use this. It seems, right? Is that true? Am I spreading misinformation? No, it seems like you can use it as many times as you want, which is super strong in my opinion. And what this does is that it never misses, which is nice. It leaves the opponents flinching, confused, or trapped. So it's one of the three. Obviously, you'd probably want flinching. And again, this flinches everybody, which is very strong, and it never misses. So you have a chance of flinching everybody, but also confusing and trapping everybody is pretty strong too. Puts all opposing ally stink pairs to or opponent stink pairs to sleep. Again, this is super strong because it hits everybody and it never misses. That's very strong. Very similar to Serena's Hypnosis or Cygnus. What's his name? The bad guy, Darkrai. I forgot the bad guy's name. Cyrus. Raises one of the following stats of all your ally stink pairs by 1. Attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, evasiveness. Honestly, this is pretty random, and so in my opinion, I don't think this is good. But yeah, Dreamlike Hypnosis is an extremely strong move. All right, if it just puts every opponent to sleep, that's already strong in and of itself. But it also flinches, it also confuses, it also can trap, it also raises your stats. Raising speed or accuracy is pretty strong, right? So Dreamlike Hypnosis is actually an incredibly strong move. And then the trainer move, We Can Still Fly. Raises special defense and defense of all attack by 2. Again, we've seen this already. And then also applies the move get acceleration effect, which is nice, so that your air cutter is cheaper and you can use it more. Very strong Pokemon. I can see the script being air cutter and then Dreamlike Hypnosis. Air cutter, Dreamlike Hypnosis. Air cutter, Dreamlike Hypnosis. Just always leaving the enemies asleep. Again, never miss. You can use this attack infinite amount of times. Like this move is insane. Oh, don't forget, it can also flinch and confuse and trap, which is relevant. The flinching and confuse can't stop your opponent from attacking. So this character is low-key very strong. I was very excited with Kawaii. Kawaii with, I forgot what Kawaii had, an Arcanine or something. That unit was super strong, and I think Noctowl is super strong too. This is a very strong unit in my opinion. And then, what do we have? We have Air Cutter Staggering 3. So now, okay, Dreamlike Hypnosis, 100% sleep. The Dreamlike Hypnosis can also flinch. Now, your Air Cutter, again, AoE move, can also flinch. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? It's a support unit, guys. It's a support unit that can flinch and sleep your enemy. It's so good. It's actually so good. Fast Track 9, again, raising your speed so that your Air Cutter is cheaper. Endurance is super nice for a support unit. Natural Remedy so that you can't get poisoned. You know, it's great. You can also do some potion with the Synchro, do some potion. You can also have more healing to yourself. Your opponent is always going to be, if you give your opponent confused and trap, that's basically permanent. And so that you can always recover your health with after you use Air Cutter. Team attack 9, so you can raise your attack by every sync pair after you use a move. You can raise your team's special attack after you use a move. Again, you're gonna be using Air Cutter, and I'm pretty sure Dreamlike Hypnosis also counts as an attack move. Maybe it's a status move. Maybe I just lied there. Maybe it's a status move. So, yeah, but your Air Cutter would be raising. So, if you want this unit to buff your allies, it has it. It can't buff crit, but it can buff attack or special attack. And then Team Sync Regen, have all your allies gradual heal. Gradual healing in this case is actually relevant in my opinion. Because if your opponent is always asleep and always flinching, that means you're always attacking. And if you're always attacking, you're always healing yourself. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, like, oh my gosh, Faulkner is actually just incredible with Noctowl. Now that I'm looking at him, he might be a character that I'll be interested in rolling in, or at least trying for a little bit. The last character is Trainer Lounge. Why do I always struggle saying that word? Wally is a Trainer Lounge unit, and so historically they're not really good. He is support though, so not completely useless. Might be usable in, you know, Legendary Gauntlet and stuff like that. So he's a support unit. He has Delicati, Look Alive, raise evasiveness when hit by a move, but there's only 50% chance. So yeah, and then also it's anti-synergy, because now if your opponent is missing because your evasiveness is raised, that means your evasiveness is not going to rise from this passive. And so it's a very interesting passive because it has like anti-synergy. But regardless, Natural Remedy, alright, that's fine. Can prevent you from being poisoned or burnt once. Healthy Buffer, reduce damage when if hit by a move when it has full HP. Pretty useless in my opinion because it only ever triggers once, right? Unless you heal yourself with Mini Potion, I suppose it can trigger again. Terrible defense stats. I mean, less than 300 defense stats and then less than 700 HP. So pretty bad. But again, what do you expect? This is a free unit. Well, if you have Wally, it's a free unit, you know. Can use tackle, which is nice, cost 1. Mini potion all, which is nice, healing for all your ally sync pairs. And again, if you fully heal yourself, then I guess the healthy buff for 5 can trigger again. You have growl, which can lower all enemies attack by 1. That's not bad, you know. That's not bad if you want to combo with that. And then let's win for sure. Raises defense, especially defense of all ally sync pairs by 2. We've seen this 2 times already, so it's another unit that has it. A lot of support units this time around, right? Or this next month. So again, not the most exciting unit. It's kind of just a basic support unit. Can't really buff, but can heal itself and allies and lower attack. So it will take hits decently well. I did let's win for sure MP refresh 2. So with refreshing, that means you can use it 30 times, which means you can fully raise your defense and special defense. Also trainer move. Let's win for sure. Hit and heal 9. This can give yourself gradual healing. Which again, gradual healing, if you heal to full health, then again, that healthy buff for 5. I guess the healthy buff for 5 actually can trigger many times. I said that is useless, but it might not be as useless as I make it out to be. Group slap dash 9. 100% chance of raising speed if your opponent misses on Delicati. You know, maybe. Maybe that will happen. Berserk Bunch. You can also raise your allies' attack if you use Let's Win for sure. You can only use it with Let's Win for sure like maybe 3 times if you're lucky, and so might not be that relevant. Tackle Flabbergast 2, so very similar to Eevee, Leaf and Eevee, where their tackle. Well, I think actually tackle, it didn't. Sonya tackle also flinches, right? Sonya and Yamper's tackle. Anyways, tackle can flinch, so that might not be, or that might be relevant if you want Delicati to be flinching. You also have some potion synchron nodes, so that is not terrible, but not the greatest. Can't raise crit, can't fully raise attack or special attack, but can provide a little bit of healing, a little bit of flinching, and evasiveness will be raised. So that could work. But anyways, that is it for all this unit. Let me summarize. Chase, really strong unit in my opinion. A really great support unit with Kanto analysis. But more generally, a really good support unit in general. You're raising speed, you're raising evasiveness, you're raising your own defense and special defense. You're restoring HP whenever you get hit. You can raise a special attack. You can raise crit. You can lower the single move countdown by 1, which is really strong. You can, that's not what I want to do. You can paralyze with the sync grid. You can fully raise special attack. I'm pretty sure I deleted it. I exited out that tab. Very strong unit in my opinion. And also you can heal more by using moves. Again, there's another tile where you can heal more by attacking. So I think Chase, just a really good general support unit. Honestly, does he compare well with Master Fair support unit? Honestly, he might. Again, a lot of Master Fair support units do a little bit extra stuff, but I mean, look, Chase is pretty extra in my opinion. He's pretty good. PT, kind of bad. Alright, next up. Riley, I think he's interesting. I think he's definitely an interesting sync pair. Again, I don't know what the script is when you're using this character. If you are using him with Cynthia and Lucario, Cynthia and Lucario can fully raise this character's special or this character's critical hit rate, and in which case you can just use testing skill, max knuckle, and then close combat. So there is some synergy with Riley and Cynthia with Lucario. I think he's going to be an interesting unit. I do really like his stats. I think they're very high, and so I might test them out when I get him. Especially since if he's free and we can get him max, I think he's a very interesting option. Gladion, I think he is a very interesting, I keep saying interesting, a fairy type striker. He's pretty defensive in the sense that he can't be flinched or like poisoned and stuff like that. And I think he's just going to be super strong. This piercing floor cannon, I think is going to do big damage. And, if you're missing a good fairy type striker, I think this character is good. Keep in mind that this character is Master Fair. And so, do you really want to, are you willing to spend, basically go to pity to get this character? I definitely am not. I don't think this character, in my opinion, is that good enough to go to pity for him. But hey, you might think he is, and you might really like him. Again, I think this character will be strong, but I'm just not seeing enough, in my opinion, here. Again, I think he's going to be strong, but I'm not seeing enough here in his kit. Victor, Palatine, Victor. I don't know how to just... I don't know how this first part of his passive works. But besides that, you know, I think a really good defensive option, because he can heal himself, can apply enduring, can provide a little bit of buffs here and there. So I think he's okay as a support unit. But I really do like his Hyper Belch being able to 100% poison, badly poisoned on top of that. I think this character will definitely be good if you need someone to consistently poison, you know. That being said, it only is one opponent, so maybe it's not as good as Signal Suit Leaf, who can hit everybody. So yeah, I don't think Victor's that good, but he's not that bad. Candace, again, not the greatest. I think she's going to do big damage with Icicle Crash and really big damage with Fighting Spirit Icicle Crash. But I think this condition of the more time you use Icicle Crash, I feel like it's pretty hard to get the max power up 200%. Because you're going to have to use Icicle Crash 4 times. And so realistically, if you want to max out your Fighting Spirit Icicle Crash damage, that means you have to use Icicle Crash. You have to use Icicle Crash 8 times. And then you have to use this move 2 times, with just 10 actions. 10 actions is a lot of actions to be able to use all these moves. And so I think it's an interesting Pokemon. I think she's definitely going to be strong. But again, it's not really... The thing is, I know I'm comparing her to Master Fair Sync pairs, but Irida and Neo Champion Red, they're just irreplaceable with those two units. I think they work together incredibly well. And so I will never see myself using this unit if I get them. So, indeed, not the greatest in my opinion. But still really strong. Faulkner, super interesting. I love the Dreamlight Hypnosis. I love this. Again, the 100% flinch. I'm sorry, the 100% sleep. The high likelihood of flinching. The high likelihood of flinching with Air Cutter as well. Keep in mind, he can also lower special attack. And he can raise defense. And so, or raise his own defense. Or everyone's defense. And so, like... Yeah, you're going to be... Your opponent is barely going to be able to act because of all the sleep, all this flinching. But also, if they do land hits, they're not going to do that much damage. Because again, their attack and special attack is lowered and your defense and special defense is raised. I love this Faulkner unit. Don't think I'm going to roll for him, but I think he's a really great unit. And on Wally, yeah, decent. Yep, so Chase, I'll probably put him S tier, PT... Usable, unusable, I'm not sure. Riley, I think he's gonna be a B or A tier, somewhere between that. Gladion, I don't know if I put him in S tier. I really don't know if I can put him in S tier. He's a Master Fair, but I don't know if I can put him in S tier. So yeah, I'm guessing A tier. Victor, I don't know. A, B tier. Candace is probably A, B tier as well. Faulkner, I think is interesting. Honestly, he might be good enough for S tier in my opinion because of his disruption is pretty insane. And then Wally is probably C tier. Wally P tier, probably C tier. I'll say Riley is maybe B tier. Gladion's probably A tier. Victor's probably B A tier. Candace probably. You know, these tiers don't really matter. You know, I'm just extending this video for no reason. So anyways, that's my opinion on a Datamine. At the end of the day, like I said, this Datamine is focused towards a lot of these male characters, a lot of new characters, and a few characters getting ult. And so, not exactly exciting for me, and I know, probably for a lot of people it's not that exciting, but keep in mind, next month is 4.5 anniversary, and so, hey, if you don't like any of these characters, well, some people do. I'm sure when Zinnia came out, a lot of people didn't care about her at all, but I was highly anticipating her. So, I'm sure a lot of people are very excited for these units. Some might not be, but keep in mind, next month is 4.5 anniversary. And so, hey, be cautious about what you want to spend this month. And because next month is going to be a banger. Next month is going to be a banger. All right, 4.5 anniversary is going to be a banger. Also, at the end of the day, I'm not really excited about the characters. I mean, Faulkner is awesome. I'm not really excited about the characters. I'm more excited about this new new type of battle rally. This is gonna be exciting. So I might make a video about this new content in Pokemon Masters. Very exciting, because yeah, this might be game changing. This might be the next new game changing thing that they add to the game. Ever since, in my opinion, EX6 stars. But I'll talk about that more when that comes. So if you made this far, I appreciate it. Again, these are just my thoughts and opinions. I could be totally wrong. So, this video is just made just to, for a little bit of fun and just to talk about the new units, because I want to talk about the new units. So, yes. Thank you so much for watching. You're beautiful the way you are, and I'll catch you in another Pokemon Masters video.